when we had new leadership come in for our group, this opportunity was a really great opportunity with that kind of reorg to be able to better speak the language of our design team, since I had no formal training in design, and I've always been on the delivery side of facilitation there. And it allowed us to better speak that language, better understand the process, know when to come in, know when to back out a little bit, timelines, things like that. And, I think our company always has the viewpoint of honing your skill and bettering yourself in your craft. And this was just one way to use outside resources to be able to do that.
I actually am sort of just the opposite from you, Lori. I have a graduate degree in instructional systems design from Florida State. So I had a lot of formal background, but my education is in instructional design. My background is in teaching though. But I looked at it as this is probably the third or fourth career I had. I had 10 years in the military, 20 plus years in policing. And so I've been kind of always shifting, always teaching in those careers. But when I went corporate, one of the things that I really wanted to focus on is value to the company and what happens in the corporate environment when they say, hey, we're sorry, we don't need you anymore. So I belong to several different organizations. I've written articles for another training company. And when I looked at which certification to do and why do this one, I typed in CPTD and turned into a bunch of job search banks. And that's the one that returned the most hits of not a required. Degrees are nice, but when they hit the preferred, and as a former hiring person, you hit my preferreds, I can overlook some of the other stuff. If you hit my preferreds, that means you went above and beyond. And CPTD was above and beyond for more than any other, by orders of magnitude, than any other certification process out there.
For the growth opportunities, that was definitely one of the things that made me want to pursue the CPTD, was just the potential that it could open up for me, especially someone who has shifted career paths from teaching to corporate training. I had learned so much on the job, but I wanted to kind of legitimize what I was learning and doing. And this was one way for me to do that. I already have a bachelor's and a master's. It didn't make sense to go that route again. This seemed, after a lot of research, like the right direction for me, while it would also benefit my company and my department is in the process of growing and really completely redefining themselves. And when I started with this company, it was a training department, and it is so much more than that now, so much more of a consultative role. So I really know it's going to benefit my company, but also me long term.
Yeah. And, to kind of echo off of that, you said legitimize, and I was really looking to validate my experience. So I had been in learning and development 15 years ago, and I stepped away to run my own business, which, was wedding cakes, right? That's not in the corporate world. I was doing training and I was teaching folks, specifically wedding cakes. But when I went back into working in, an office with a boss, which was weird, I needed something that validated that I still knew what I was talking about. All of those lessons that I had learned and those things that I had been using were valid, even if I didn't have a supervisor to call and get as a reference. So I went in and wanted to start studying and kind of confirm that what I knew was still true and brush up on anything that had changed.
Yeah, I think to speak to Jill and to Laura's points, both, what Jill was saying about kind of validating my skills and kind of proving that, I am credentialed by this international organization, where I work, being in healthcare, specifically in research, a lot of times training, we always joke training's not the first, second, or 100th priority of a lot of these people. So, when you come in with such a strong credential to kind of back you, they really do trust the initiatives that you put forward, the advice that you offer. And to kind of what Laura was saying, for me, I was very heavy on the training delivery side. And, my director kind of encouraged me to pursue this because it gave me a much bigger picture view of the training process, which definitely changed the way that I interact with our SMEs now, the way that I think about building out learning. So definitely kind of building on their points. Agreed 100%.
Yeah, I agree on that advice part too. You know, a lot of things I've been in this space for, 8 years, I guess now in my career. And a lot of things I experienced and I was like, I know this is the way to go. Or like, I really think this is the right thing to do. Or, oh man, we really should enhance that. The words validate and legitimize, like when there's a theory that supports that, or like continued research supports this, it brings a whole new level of credibility to the table. And I've seen a direct result of that in my organization by being asked to be a part of things, and I never was before. And that allows the company to grow. It only enhances my experience, but it's helping the company too.
Yeah, especially when you're working with folks who are in the top of their field, right? They really want to make sure they're working with someone who's at that same level. And this certification really helps me say, yeah, I'm not just saying it. Someone else has verified I'm at that level, and listening to me is not a risk for you.